Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So, I want to ask you a question right now that you don't have to answer, but think about it throughout the whole session. Who are you? So, before I start this speech, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Hrishit Garia, and I'm in year 8. So, this question sounds simple and easy to answer, but it is not simple and easy to answer. It's more complex than what we think it is. If I asked you this question, you would probably say your name, your nationality, your religion, your race, social class, etc. But do these labels just define you, or are you more than just these labels? So, for most of my life, the society's expectations have been imposed on me, and my family hopes for what good will happen to me in the future. So it's like we are handed a script when we were born or before we were born. But what if I don't want to follow the script? So I'll tell you how you can find out who you are through cultural, familial, and societal expectations. So first will be society. So in society, I'm from the city of New Delhi. And in Delhi, you're categorized by religion, race, and culture. So, for example, let's say if somebody sees me wear these clothes, they would say, I'm wearing these for religious purposes, or I'm like attending weddings, or I'm celebrating festivals. So, the society most of the time tells us what to do and what not to do. Like, for example, in social media, when you like follow your friends, celebrities, influencers, sometimes you feel like they're happier than you or they have the things that you don't have. But that is just comparing yourself with an unrealistic version of somebody else. And that's because they mostly post about their success and their happiness and beauty, but they never post about their struggles or failure. So you're literally comparing yourself with a fake version of somebody else. And it's a fundamental human struggle, balancing between society's expectations and personal identity. So it's like sometimes I feel like, am I doing things that I like to do, or am I just doing what the society is telling me to do, like it's written in movies? I want to ask you a question. Have you ever felt the pressure just to get accepted, to follow a trend, to get accepted by others? I'll give you 30 seconds to think about it. All right, so now I'm sure you guys have faced the same situation as I have from before. Now, we'll now focus on family. And family tells you what is wrong and what is right. So, your family will hope for your best in the future. But what if your personal desires conflict with your family's expectations? Like, for example, in most Indian families, the professionals are like either engineers or doctors or they serve in the Indian army. But what if I don't want to do these? What if I want to do something else? There are two ways of, so this creates an internal battle between your brain and yourself. So these will be the questions that will be asked in your brain. Should I follow my desires, or should I sacrifice my desires to follow my family's expectations? There are two ways of doing this: balancing between your personal desires and family's expectations. So you could do this by, so you could have a chat with them or during their free time or and your free time. Don't rebel against them or stay silent. They won't understand your perspective. If you tell them your perspective of what you want to do, they might agree with you. Who knows? So, and another way is setting boundaries. Choose something that your parent, their family would like, that you would also like. If you don't understand this, what I mean by this is choose something in the between of something you would like and what your family would like. Next topic is culture. And culture tells culture tells you categorizes you in your language, your religion, cultural identity, and a sense of where you belong. But what if your cultural identity conflicts with your desires? For example, your culture values certain behaviors that you don't do and you don't want to do, or certain cultures tells you how you should live that you don't want to do. How can you do this? You can do this by following your culture, then do whatever you want. Culture should be a foundation, not a limitation. Let me tell you this quote which Abraham Lincoln said: I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live up to what light I have. If you don't understand what is he saying, he's trying to say is, in the first sentence, he's saying, do not focus on winning. Focus on being truthful to yourself. And in the second sentence, he's trying to say, don't focus on succeeding. Try your 100% best. That's because if you put in your 100% effort into something, like for example, your exams, then your results will go on your way. Now, how can you find out who you really are? You can find out who you really are through. You can find out who you really are while doing calm activities such as meditation, or going for a walk alone, or sitting under a tree calmly and peacefully. Here are these three key questions you should think about. What makes you happy? What values describe you? And how do you want to live? Secondly, let go of comparison. As I said earlier, comparing will kill your happiness and confidence. That's because, I know I'm repeating myself, but I'll say it again. So, comparing yourself will kill your happiness and confidence because you're comparing yourself with an unrealistic version of somebody else. And your journey is unique and special. Now, let's go back to the question I asked you at the very beginning of the speech. Who are you? So, the answer is simple. You are who you to be. You describe yourself through your personal identity, not who others tell you to be. You don't need external support through friends or social media. You could have support from families, but they can only give you a guide. They can't help you anymore. You have to help yourself. And I want you to remember these key points. Society doesn't define us. Labels and social media can obscure our true identity. What I mean by that, labels and social media, they can hide our true and personal identity. Balance personal desires with family expectations. As I said earlier, to do this, have a chat with your family and then help them understand your perspective. Culture is a foundation, not a limitation. Reflect about who you are. You can do this by doing calm and peaceful activities such as meditation or yoga, something like that. Avoid comparing with others, such as friends, influencers, celebrities. That's because you're unique and special. Choose who you want to be. That's up to your choice. No one can decide or force you to change who you should be. Thank you.